Nnamdi Okeke leaned back in his airplane seat, staring out at the thick clouds beneath him. It had been a decade since he left Nigeria, a decade filled with the fast-paced life of New York City. Now, returning home to Umuoma, his heart was heavy with guilt and longing. His parents were aging, and their health was failing, and he had been too far away for too long. The messages from his brother had been troubling. His father's voice had lost its strength, and his mother's energy had dwindled. They had even taken in 2 young maids to help them manage the house. The drive to the village from Lagos was long and dusty, the landscape growing more familiar with every mile. When the car finally pulled into his family's compound, Nnamdi's chest tightened. His mother, frail and bent, was standing at the gate, a weak but warm smile on her face. His father sat in an old chair on the veranda, his posture slouched, the weight of years visible in his every movement. "Nnamdi!" his mother exclaimed, her voice soft but full of joy as she embraced him. "You've come home, my son." "Yes, Mama," Nnamdi said, feeling the warmth of her embrace. "I had to. I've missed you both." As the days passed, Nnamdi settled into the familiar rhythms of village life, reconnecting with old friends and family. He quickly noticed Chika, one of the young women who had been hired to help his parents. She moved quietly around the house, always attentive to his parents' needs, but there was something about her that caught his attention. She had a grace about her, a softness in her smile, and eyes that seemed to hide stories untold. One evening, after a quiet dinner, Nnamdi found Chika sitting outside under the moonlight, her face serene as she gazed at the stars. He approached her cautiously, his curiosity piqued. "Chika," he said, sitting beside her on the low wooden bench. "You work so hard, always taking care of my parents. You never seem to rest." Chika turned to him, her expression soft but guarded. "It is my job, sir. Your parents are kind people. They have taken care of me, and I must do the same for them." "Please call me Nnamdi," he replied, smiling. "You don't have to be so formal." There was a pause, the night filled with the sounds of crickets and distant chatter from the village. Chika glanced at him shyly, her voice low. "It wouldn't be proper to call you by your first name. You are the son of a chief." Nnamdi chuckled. "I've lived in America too long. Titles don't mean much to me anymore." Chika smiled, and for a moment their eyes locked. In that silence, something shifted between them, an unspoken connection, fragile yet undeniable. The following weeks passed in a blur, and Nnamdi found himself spending more time with Chika. Her stories of growing up in the neighboring village of Abor fascinated him. She spoke of her family's struggles, the sacrifices they had made, and her dream of becoming a teacher. In her, Nnamdi found a quiet strength, a resilience that mirrored his own. One evening, as they sat by the river, watching the water glisten under the fading light, Nnamdi spoke from his heart. "Chika," he began, his voice quiet but filled with emotion, "I never thought I'd find someone like you here. You've become so important to me." Chika turned to him, her eyes wide with surprise. "Nnamdi, what are you saying?" "I think I'm falling in love with you," he confessed, his heart pounding. "I know this is unexpected, but I can't deny what I feel." Chika's face flushed and she looked away, her hands trembling in her lap. "Nnamdi, you can't say that. This can't happen." "Why not?" he asked, frustration creeping into his voice. "Why can't it? You're an amazing woman, and I care about you. Why should anything else matter?" "Because you are the son of a chief," she whispered urgently, her voice cracking. "And I am just a maid. Your parents will never allow this. The village will never allow this." Nnamdi reached for her hand, holding it gently. "I don't care about what the village thinks, or even what tradition says. I care about you." Chika pulled her hand away, standing up abruptly. "But I care about your family. I care about the life you've built. This is not the life I imagined for you, and it's not the life I can be a part of." The whispers in the village soon reached his parents' ears. One evening, as Nnamdi sat with his mother and father in the parlour, his father spoke. Nnamdi, Chief Okeke said sternly, his eyes darkening with disapproval. We've heard rumors about you and the maid, Chika. Nnamdi braced himself, taking a deep breath. Papa, it's not just rumors. I've come to know her well, and I have feelings for her. His mother gasped, her hand flying to her chest. Nnamdi, no, you cannot be serious. Chika is a good girl, but she's not your equal. Nnamdi's jaw tightened. Mama, I don't care about status. She is kind, intelligent, and I love her. Isn't that enough? His father's voice grew harsher. You speak of love, but love is not enough. You are the son of a chief. You have a responsibility to this family, to this village. You cannot marry a maid. What would people say? What would they think? I don't care what they say, Nnamdi shouted, rising to his feet. Why should tradition dictate who I can or cannot love? Chika is the only person who's made me feel alive in years. His mother's eyes filled with tears, her voice trembling. My son, please, we have dreams for you, expectations. Marrying a woman from her background will shame our family. People will talk. They will think we've fallen. Nnamdi stared at them, his heart breaking. He knew they were speaking from a place of tradition and pride, but their words cut deep. Then maybe I don't belong in this family anymore, Nnamdi said softly, his voice laced with pain. If you can't accept the woman I love, then maybe I shouldn't stay. The next day, as Nnamdi prepared to leave the house, Chika found him, her eyes red from crying. Nnamdi, please don't do this, she pleaded. I don't want to come between you and your family. You're not, Nnamdi said firmly, packing his bags. This is my decision. I'm choosing love over tradition, and I won't live my life based on what others expect of me. But your family, your parents, they will never forgive you. Nnamdi turned to her, his eyes soft but resolute. I would rather live with you and face their disapproval than live without you and regret it for the rest of my life. Tears streamed down Chika's face as she threw her arms around him, holding him tightly. Nnamdi, I love you, but I don't want to see you suffer because of me. I won't suffer, Chika, he whispered into her hair, not as long as I have you. Later that evening, Nnamdi approached his parents one final time. The tension in the air was palpable as he stood before them. I've made my decision, he said, his voice steady. I'm leaving with Chika. I love her and I won't let anyone tell me that's wrong. If you can't accept that, then I'll have to go my own way. His father's face darkened with fury. You will bring shame to this family, Nnamdi. Do you realize what you're doing? I do, Nnamdi replied calmly, and I'm willing to face the consequences. Without another word, he turned and walked out of the house. Outside, Chika was waiting for him, her face still streaked with tears. He took her hand, and together they walked away from the life he had known, stepping into the unknown with love guiding their path. As they reached the edge of the village, Nnamdi looked back one last time. His parents stood on the veranda, their faces etched with sorrow. But they did not call after him. And as he and Chika walked toward their uncertain future, Nnamdi knew one thing for sure. Love had triumphed over tradition, and in the end, that was all that mattered.